Welcome guys, Windshear here. I want to talk about the PP-2000 and do a weapon review of this. And for you guys say, ask me, why are you reviewing this weapon? This is yesterday's news. I don't use this gun. Well, yeah, and the reason you don't use it is because you're thinking with your pants. Forgive the pun here. It's like those women. You ever hear the phrase, there's women that you want to date, and then there's women that you marry. Well, yes, this is probably the ugliest gun in the game, and once you can get past the aesthetics of it, and you start to appreciate the fundamentals of this weapon, and how it's going to be there for you whenever you need it. It's always going to be there waiting for you, and it's going to be reliable. You need to put some faith in this weapon, because this is a weapon you can marry. And what I'm trying to say here is that this is an incredible weapon in a lot of ways. It's not the fastest fire rate. It doesn't have the largest magazine capacity, and if you put some time into this weapon and you take the time to unlock certain attachments with it, in particular the extended mag, you'll really begin to appreciate what this weapon is capable of doing, and I'm going to show you that in several situations. But basically, if I could put it bluntly, this weapon is a team killer. In other words, it's a fundamental move, which I coined the Windshear move, is to come up behind the entire team and wipe them all out. And that's something I always kind of tried to pride myself on, or that's my little niche. I love to flank the team, come up behind them, and wipe them out. Now, I don't have tons of footage of those situations, but I do have a few good clips throughout this video in those types of situations. Now, the stats in this gun, and this is one of the best things about this gun, it makes it superior to other PDWs in a lot of ways, in particular like the UMP. It does 25 damage, and let's see, let me just make sure I'm quoting the right stats. 25 damage max, minimum of 12.5 damage at a 50-meter fall-off rate. So at long range, it's going to be pretty weak. But the recoil on it is incredibly low. It's got like a 0.18 vertical recoil, and the highest horizontal recoil it has is 0.3 left and 0.2 right. And one of the greatest benefits of this weapon is, and I want to compare this to the Val, because you know how much I like the Val, is its movement multiplier. Look at those kills, huh? Its movement multiplier is only 0.5, like the MP7, the P90, and the MP7. Now, the Val, for example, is 1.5. So that means whenever you're moving, you're taking a 1.5 hit multiplier in terms of degrading your accuracy. That's huge. So whenever I'm using the Val, you're going to see me, whenever I'm running around with that gun, I pretty much have to stop moving in order to make that gun hit accurately. That's a huge disadvantage. Whereas with this gun and the P90 and P7, you can continually basically be strafing while you're moving and not worry about having an accuracy drop or a big accuracy multiplier degradation. So that's a huge advantage to you tactically. So feel free to keep moving around with these guns, while you're hitting the enemy, if you're trying to avoid, keep them moving and give them the accuracy drop. Now, one thing you gotta take into account with this gun, and I'm sure a lot of you will leave comments about this, is in close range situations, let's say 5 feet and under, if you come head-to-head against, a F-2000, AEK, MP7, a P90, M16, for the most part, you're probably going to lose those one-on-one engagements. And just like knowing the limitations of any weapon, you have to know the limitations of this weapon. This weapon only fires at 650 rounds a minute. But what that does, what its biggest weakness is can also be its biggest strength. So if you get yourself in a predicament where you have multiple enemies in front of you, like you do so many times in this game, you're going to be able to kind of pace your shots and make them, give yourself some time to aim, because you're not really burst firing PDWs for the most part. You got your trigger fully auto on it, and you're making this thing, whatever gun you have, fire as quickly as possible. But with this gun, you can go full auto, but you'll have time to empty your clip and disperse your rounds effectively into multiple enemies, and not have to worry about reloading every half second. And that's, again, that kind of falls into the category of why I don't use high fire rate weapons. I've just never been very comfortable with them, because my aim or my patience, whichever you want to call it, is not the greatest. If I see an enemy, I'm just going full auto on him, trying to get my entire clip into that one guy, and then of course I'm reloading, and then there comes his buddy around the corner, and you're dead. With this gun, you're gonna have time to address those kind of situations. And the reload time on it's not horrible, but it's not the best, so you want to be cautious about the reload time on this gun as well. So that's a basic overall strategy of this gun I've outlined. In situations like this, coming up around the team, I could have wiped out the rest of them, but there you go, M320. Not much you can do with that. But, it's about playing smartly. Again, putting the weapon, knowing its limitations, knowing where you can make your weapon shine in certain scenarios. And, close quarters maps like this are a lot of fun with this gun. In situations like this, too, you want to lay low. Use cover like this. If you're not exactly sure where the enemy is, don't be afraid to go down prone. It's a great little quick tactic to get you out of binds. But don't expect to snipe with this gun. It's not the AS Val, does not have the range. But, within 50 meters, this gun is incredibly deadly. A great team wipe weapon. I'm going to be running this quite a bit more. So get over the aesthetics of this weapon, guys. I encourage you to try it out. The attachment sight, I'll recommend whatever sight you want. I've tried both the laser sight and the tack light. I think the laser sight is better for the hip fire advantage you have in close quarters. Obviously, the extended mags is a pain, guys. Until you get the extended mags unlocked, you're going to really hate this gun. But once you do that, just keep in mind you're locking the greatest benefit of this weapon. And you can get in situations like this where you're just getting combat efficiency ribbons all the time, destroying the team. Great little toy. Excellent PDW, one of the best in the class in terms of PDWs out there. Hope you guys liked the video. Please like and subscribe it if it helps you out. This is Winshare. I'll have more to come.